Most of us think our lives are too boring to film. But what if I told you that your everyday life could actually look like a movie?
Babe, please stop filming the fridge. Also, wash a dish. Just one. And I love you, but still, do the dish.
Yes, folks, the video you saw at the beginning was shot entirely on the iPhone using a few simple tools. And you can do the same. Your life doesn't have to be exciting to create an engaging video. You don't need epic adventures, crazy locations, or expensive gear. What you need is a little creativity, some smart shooting techniques, and the confidence to hit record. So in this video, folks, I'm going to show you exactly how you can make your everyday life look cinematic using just your smartphone. And if you're up for it, I've got a challenge at the end of this video where you can submit your own short film and even win a 1-year subscription to Motionary, which, by the way, they're sponsoring this video. If you're just starting out, you can totally use the default camera app on your iPhone. It's fast, simple, and it can get you some really solid results. But if you want to take full creative control and really make your everyday life feel like a movie, I recommend using a pro app. And for this video, I used the Blackmagic camera app. It's free and it gives you full manual control over how your footage looks. And here's how I set it up. The resolution I set to 4K for the highest quality. The frame rate I set to 25 frames per second for a real-time playback. The codec I set to H.265, which is a smaller file size but still retains good quality. As for the color profile, I set it to Apple Log. This gives me a much more natural look and also offers flexibility when color grading later. Now, since Apple Log is a flat color profile, I'll also enable LUT preview to better see what I'm shooting. Also, I recorded everything internally on my iPhone. I didn't need an SSD as I had enough space. And what's cool about using the Blackmagic camera app is that you can store your footage inside the app itself instead of cluttering up your photo app when using the default camera app. Next up is shutter speed. To achieve a smooth, natural motion blur, the way we see it with our own eyes, I set my shutter to a 180-degree angle. If you can't see it, go to Settings, Camera, Shutter Measurements, and set it to Shutter Angle. This automatically keeps my shutter speed at double the frame rate, which is ideal for that filmic look. Also, make sure to lock it so it doesn't accidentally shift your exposure when you tap on the screen. By locking it, tapping will only affect focus, allowing you to set autofocus easily. Now, I also used manual focus whenever I needed precise control or when I didn't want the focus to shift. When it comes to ISO, I tried to keep it as low as possible to avoid noise.
Regarding white balance, simply enable lock white balance on record, and this will lock your white balance once you start recording.
For better framing, I also enable the rule of thirds and the leveler in the app settings. That helps me compose my shots more intentionally and keeps everything straight. Lastly, let's talk about audio. I set it to stereo, which records a wider sound field. And I actually used it in the video to immerse my audience even more. And the iPhone's built-in mic does a surprisingly good job of picking up ambient sound. Next up, we have accessories. Using the right accessories can simplify the filming process, especially when you're filming yourself. And the right tools not only speed up things, but also help you get more professional looking results with less effort. So let's start with one of the most important tools for achieving that cinematic look, the VND filter. Now, when you keep your shutter speed locked at double your frame rate, like 1/50 for 25 frames per second, in our case, it's done that automatically by setting the shutter angle to 180. You'll let in more light and you'll most likely end up with an overexposed image when shooting outdoors on a sunny day. When shooting indoors, you might get away without a VND filter depending on the shot. Anyway, when you have an overexposed image, that is where a VND filter comes in. I just recently got Moment's Quick Lock filter system as I was really curious to test it out, especially because of its minimalistic design and high quality VND glass. And what's cool about this one is that I can quickly mounted onto the case. This is a 2 to 7 stop VND, and on top over here I can adjust the amount of light entering the sensor. I love that nothing is sticking out of the case as other VND filters do, making it really easy to put it in my pocket. Now here's how it works. Once you've set and locked your shutter speed angle to 180 and dial in your lowest ISO, you can then use the VND to fine tune your exposure. For exposure accuracy, I like to use zebras, a tool you'll find inside the Blackmagic camera app. I typically set it to 80%, and the stripes indicate overexposed areas, so you want to make sure that none of these stripes appear in your shot. Next up is tripod. When filming yourself, a solid tripod is a must. I use the Ulanzi MT44. It's lightweight and has an extension pole and comes with a foam clamp, which makes mounting super easy. Now what I also used is this mini tripod by Joby, and this was especially handy for placing the camera inside of tight spaces, such as inside a refrigerator. Now the biggest challenge when it comes to filming yourself is being able to see what you're shooting. And there are a couple of options that can help with monitoring your shots. If you have an iPad or a second iPhone, you can connect the Blackmagic camera app to monitor and remotely control your camera. In my case, I connected it to my iPad, and this is probably the most convenient option, as you can also hit record from that second device as well as control all of the settings. Another option is using the Shimbal CP5 phone vlog monitor. This also gives you a real-time view of your shot. The only trade-off is that unlike using a second device with the Blackmagic camera app, you can't control or trigger the record button. It's strictly for monitoring, but you can use it with any other video app as well, such as the default camera app. Now to me, these tools are the most essential for anyone filming themselves and wanting to get cinematic results. I also used other accessories to be more creative with my shots, and I'll cover those later in this video. I know that filming yourself can initially feel overwhelming, especially when you don't know what to shoot or where to start. And that's why I recommend creating a simple shot list for the day. Nothing complicated, just a shot list of the moment or action you want to capture. Think about what you usually do throughout the day and pick a routine to film. By writing it down, you avoid overshooting, you bring structure to your process, and you're not just randomly filming things without direction. I usually write my shot list down in the Notes app. So here's an example of what I've written down.
We'll start off with a wide shot of me opening the fridge. Camera is placed inside the fridge. Then we have a close-up of my hand taking the note off the fridge, a medium shot of me reading the note, a wide shot of dirty dishes in the sink, a low angle shot of turning on the faucet, a medium shot of grabbing the sponge, a POV shot of scrubbing the pan with the sponge, a top-down shot of placing clean dish on towel, and a close-up of opening the dishwasher. And we get a wide shot of placing the glass inside the dishwasher. And finally, a medium shot of tossing the towel towards the camera.
Another benefit of having a shot list is that it lets you start visualizing the edit in your head. You can begin to imagine how the shots will cut together, which makes things much easier once you're in the edit. And you can go as detailed as you like with the shot list, but I like to keep it simple and also leave some room for creativity. You can even take it further by importing your clips into a pro editing app like LumaFusion. It lets you access footage directly from the Blackmagic camera app's library, so you can drop your shots into the timeline. That way you'll quickly know if anything is missing or if you need to go back and grab an extra angle or two. Now, a cool way to spice up your videos is to add a voiceover. The great thing about this style of filmmaking is that once you've written a script for your voiceover, it actually helps guide the rest of your shots.
Here I am walking like I've got somewhere important to be. I don't, but the camera's rolling, so let's pretend.
When it comes to recording your voiceover, you've got a few options. You can record your voice straight into the iPhone's Voice Memo app or directly into your editing software or app. Or maybe you don't want to use your voice. In that case, you can use an AI voiceover to narrate your story or even add other characters like I did with my girlfriend's note.
Also, wash a dish.
And that's where our sponsor of today's video, Motionary, comes in.
They provide a wide variety of high-quality media assets all in one place, including AI voiceovers. And you can start by exploring the many voice types available, filtering your search by genre or video category. You can listen to the voices to find the perfect match before choosing.
Not everyone's heart is all sugar and flowers.
And once you've picked the voice, enter your text and hit generate, and the tool will convert it into the AI voiceover.
Also, wash a dish, just one.
If you need more customization, you can adjust accent, speed, and even emotion to match the tone of your project. You can even choose between different languages. And once you're happy, you can download and use it in your projects. Beyond voiceovers, Motionary also gives you access to royalty-free music, sound effects, templates, and everything else you need to bring your edits to life. I've been using it for years, and it's been a huge part of streamlining my creative process. If you want to try it out, use the link below to get $50 off Motionary's annual plan.
One of the best ways to make your shots more interesting is to get creative with your shots. And I used different tools for that. For example, I used the suction cup to mount it onto the kitchen wall to get a top-down field of view. This would have otherwise been more difficult to achieve with a traditional tripod. Another example is placing your phone inside the sink, which makes it a unique perspective because it's not something you would usually see. Another creative shot I took is using the clamp, which I've secured onto the pan. And this again gave a unique POV perspective from the pan. I also placed my iPhone inside the dishwasher, which also looked really cool. And you can really play around with your shot and try to find angles that look interesting. By the way, I will leave links to all the products that I used in the video description below.
So now that you've seen the full process, I want to invite you to take part in the Cinematic Everyday Challenge. And here's how it works. Create a short cinematic video, 30 to 60 seconds long. It must be shot entirely on a smartphone. The video must be newly filmed, so no old videos, guys. Capture a simple moment from your everyday life, something you do regularly like making coffee, going for a walk, working at your desk, or doing chores. Doesn't need to be exciting. The goal is to use cinematic techniques to make an ordinary moment feel like they belong in a movie. Then upload your video to your own YouTube channel. Unlisted is totally fine. Then send the link to info@bennegrazer.com. I'll be selecting a few of my favorite submissions to feature and review right here on my YouTube channel. The top video will win a free 1-year subscription to Motionary and a full lifetime pass to my Smartphone Filmmaking Course, everything you need to level up your mobile videos. The deadline is May 12, 2025, so you've got about 3 weeks to plan, shoot, and edit your entry. You'll also find all details in the video description below. Good luck, and I can't wait to see what you create.
So that is how you take your so-called boring life and turn it into something cinematic. By doing this, you'll also practice your filmmaking skills, which will improve over time. Just have fun with the process and try out different techniques and styles. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you want to take things a step further, check out this video right here where I show you how to make your videos look more cinematic using just your iPhone and a few key tools. With that said, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.